Hello and welcome to This Week in Bitcoin. This week as well, there are some interesting news, some funny news, and some bullish news. So let's get stuck in right away. News number one come out of South America and especially out of Brazil, where we are now in the final phases of the vote upon the decision to establish a national Bitcoin reserve. It will be more of a currency reserve, so it's not going to do the same playbook as many other countries. But the idea is to have a protection against inflation and various stages of infinite money printing. Well, that proposal has been floating around since spring, and now we're getting to that date where we actually have the hearings about it. And the step would be quite simple. Convert a certain percentage, that's also up to debate now how much that percentage is, into Bitcoin. If they would convert everything that they have in the proposal, it would be $19 billion in Bitcoin, quite a big sum. And on the other hand, if they're not, it's gonna reduce to a little bit less than that, or maybe even significantly less, depending on what they vote about. But for now, not a country, not a potential reserve. At this point, just one of these countries has to pull the trigger and actually establish the reserve. And speaking of being bullish, we also have some news from VanEck this week. They remain very steady with their 180,000 US dollar per Bitcoin price at the end of the bull market. They have been defending this in various interviews, on various social posts, and in various reports. Their reason is very simple. The money printer will come back in, and in the end, it will give it a little bit more push than what we're seeing now. Considering that Bitcoin is hovering anywhere around 114, 115,000 at this point, there's still some room to go. So we'll need to wait and see if this bullishness by VanEck will be playing out. And then some last news, very funny. A Harvard business economist named Ken Rogoff has actually come out this week on X and said that he's been kind of wrong about Bitcoin, but then again, he didn't want to commit to, let's call it his sin fully. Back in the days in 2017, 2018, he was very vocal about Bitcoin, and he would say, if I would hold $100 for 10 years, it's vastly more likely that it will remain this if I hold it in Bitcoin rather than going to 100,000. Boy, oh boy, was he wrong, because we actually surpassed 100,000. And, back then, at one point, he probably had the opportunity to do this. So he came up with the statement. It still said like, yes, I was wrong, but then on certain fronts, his prognosis has been actually right, but he just missed a couple of zeros. So yeah, a very funny reminder to say that you should actually never doubt Bitcoin and just give it its place in time. It will do its own thing. And with that, we're at the end of This Week in Bitcoin. You know the drill. If you got questions, feedback, or just want to say hello, leave me a comment below, and I look forward to seeing you next week again.